Good morning. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Debbie and welcome to my channel. I stream trials, sometimes live, sometimes not so live, like the one we're doing this morning. Kyle Rittenhouse is an older trial. Not an old trial, but an older trial. So I got the best compliment yesterday that I've ever had. There is a show on YouTube done by two members of the Disney community. And last night they were doing trivia questions. Now, these two guys, when they get together, they're hilarious. They're best friends. Their show's called The 927 because they live 927 miles apart. They couldn't figure out a name for their channel. So they became the 927. I have met one of them. He lives in Orlando. The other one lives in Cincinnati, Ohio. So the guy in Ohio, well, they're both huge Star Wars fans. But the guy in Hawaii in Ohio, it's early, y'all. In Ohio, um, behind him, he's got gorgeous prints of Star Wars characters, Star Wars villains specifically. They're gorgeous. I love them, and so I've complimented him on those. Um, but anyway, I don't know how he knew this unless he's been in some of the Disney chats and I didn't realize it. Because Hollywood Studios has the whole Galaxy's Edge, which is a Star Wars land. And the way they do it, you actually go through a tunnel that's like regular architecture, modern brick architecture, and then it goes into what looks like you are going into a Star Wars planet. Like it's on Batu. Everything is Star Wars themed. Even the Coke bottles. If you buy a bottle of Coke, it looks like a thermal detonator. It is round, like a thermal detonator. So these Disney streamers, they go and they've not seen Star Wars. They don't know what they're talking about. Like I've had to explain to Disney streamers that Kylo Ren is not Darth Vader's son. Like he's his grandson. Like they know not even the basics. And if you guys aren't Star Wars fans, that's fine. Like I'm not judging. But I think if you're going to stream a subject, you should know something about it because Disney goes to great pains to make sure that everything looks as real as possible. They want that immersion. They want you to feel like you're really there. So the only way he could have known this is he's been in some chats that I was in where I'm schooling some Disney streamers that don't know what they're talking about when it comes to Star Wars. Anyway, so last night they were doing trivia questions. And they asked one that I knew and I was right and I got it first. And he said to me, "Oh, I knew you'd get it, Debbie. I knew you'd get it." And then he said to everybody, "That girl knows her Star Wars." That is the best compliment I've ever gotten, y'all. No one has ever complimented me on my Star Wars knowledge before. I was so happy. And I'm sure y'all aren't impressed. Travis wasn't impressed either. But I texted Jill because I knew she would be. And she goes, "That is so cool." But it was a highlight of my evening last night that I was complimented on my Star Wars knowledge. And the questions were about that movie. I thought about it later. I was like, "Oh, I have the poster to the movie the questions were about hanging on my wall right behind me all day." Okay, good morning, Judy. Good morning, Teresia. That's all we have in here right now. No, there's somebody else here. Hey, lurkers. Marty's not here. He would have been complaining I didn't start on time. I'm wearing my ears for Jill because I don't know who it was that decided that Friday should be Ears Day, and she thinks I look so cute in them. So I wore ears for Jill. So hi, replay crew. I love you guys. I love it when you guys also comment because I'm like, oh wow. No, I didn't give them their medicine. I'm like, oh wow, I have a regular viewer that I don't know about. It always makes me feel so happy. I would like for you guys to chat if you can, but I guess if you're replay crew, you can't. So, um, just because I want to get to know you. Like, you know me, I don't know you. What else was I gonna say? Travis made me lose my train of thought. Oh, okay. So I did a poll, not a poll, I did a post where I asked for suggestions for the next trial, and I gave a few that I was thinking about, and people were like, "Oh, okay, well, let's do this one or that," but they weren't doing their own suggestions. They were just saying what they wanted to do of my suggestions. So I didn't do a poll yet. I just threw out some suggestions for a poll. So it was Michael Peterson, The Staircase. Hey, Jennifer. How you doing, sweetie? So it was Michael Peterson, The Staircase. Um, and I started watching that documentary on, I think it's on Netflix. And Dr. Werner Spitz is in the documentary. So I Googled to ask if if he was in the trial. And he is. And I know that we hate him. Not literally, but we don't like it when he's on the stand because he goes on and on and on and on, and nobody can shut him up. So then after I saw that, I was like, oh, they might not want to watch the Michael Peterson trial if they know they got to listen to him again. Um, what did you think, Judy? You think the owl did it? That was actually a theory that was posited that an owl flew into the house and attacked her and made her fall down the stairs. Uh, whatever. Especially since his friend years earlier had fallen down the stairs and died, and then he got custody of her kids. So that's Michael Peterson. Um, Gran Amato, someone said they never heard of him. He's the one that killed his family, his parents, and his twin brother because they stopped lending him money to give to a cam girl he was in love with. And then he's also the one that Aaron Goodwin from Ghost Adventures, his wife was having a spiritual affair with. which I guess that's because he was in prison and they couldn't actually be together. So they called it a spiritual affair because they were writing letters. And then she asked Gran Amato to hire someone to put a hit on Aaron. So he was off somewhere filming Ghost Adventures, and he found out that there was a hit out on him from his wife that he loved, that he thought was his best friend. And so that's Gran Amato. And of course, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And another one that I'm thinking about too, I don't know if I can do that one. That one will make me cry. Is Conrad Murray, I think his name is. The doctor that killed Michael Jackson. Yeah, that poker that ended up in like the garage or something that they were looking for and couldn't find. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I was so sad for him. I watched her sentencing and he made a statement and cried through the entire thing. He's such a sweet. I don't like Ghost Adventures because of Zach Bagans. I cannot stand that man. And everything is staged. He pretends to be possessed by demons and all kinds of crap. He's just a grade A fraudster. And people love him, and he's not doing it illegally though. Like, he's not a scammer. Well, I guess fraud would be illegal too. What he's doing is legal. People, he's an actor. Basically, it's a reality show. So it's not illegal, but I don't like him. And now he's trying to get all the other paranormal shows taken off of the air, so he'll be the only one. But Aaron is sweet. He seems like he's a really, really sweet guy. And I felt so bad for him, especially after seeing all the pictures of him and his wife together. Like, they just look so happy. So those are the ones that I'm thinking about doing a poll about. If anybody has any other suggestions, because I'm starting to run out of, I don't know how I could ever run out of ideas, but I'm kind of starting to run out of ideas. Okay, Wisconsin v. Rittenhouse. In a presentation to the New York Bar Association, ADA Thomas Binger said, if I had to do it all over again, I would confront Kyle Rittenhouse with the images of Gage Grosskreutz with his arm nearly blown off and video of Joseph Rosenbaum gasping out his last breath. Oh, great. You want to make him bawl even more on the stand, Binger? I think if you're not man enough to own up to what you did, then don't you dare come in here and tell us that these people deserve to die and you're legally justified in doing all this. Well, I don't think he said they deserve to die. And he did own up. He was going to the cops right after it happened and they were like, "Go home, get away, get the F away." He got sprayed with pepper spray or something too, didn't he? Like, he was trying. And then he turned himself in. So he did own up to what he did. And he never said they deserved to die. He just said he was in fear for his life. That man is such a jerk. Yeah, exactly. It's his fault. If he had charged correctly, he would have got some prison time, but he didn't charge correctly. He had to go for first degree intentional murder. So now he's mad at Kyle because he lost the case. That's all that is. Oh, jeez. And we get right back to him being salty. This witness, he was so rude too. I was like, Pinger, you know this guy is not on trial, right?
Mr. Hernandez, we have the video that was the last one played for you, Exhibit 151 up on the screen. Can we play that forward, please? Now, as we're watching this video, Mr. Hernandez, you're telling
Why
us
is it
that
black
what
and
we're
white?
seeing has been recorded by two separate devices at the same time?
This is a body cam.
Okay. Is there a point in this video where it switches to your cell phone?
Yes.
Can you please point that out to us?
You'd have to fast forward all the way to when I get to car source 3.
Can we skip? Let's skip to the 2.5 minute mark, I guess. I don't know. Let's pause right there.
A little further back.
Okay, can we go back maybe 30 seconds? I don't know.
A little further back. Right. Start right here.
Okay.
I'll tell you when it switches.
Okay. Can we play from here, please?
Yeah, a little further up.
Why don't we hit play right now? Is the switch going to occur after this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right there. Our little, hold on, here it goes. Right there.
Hey, Debbie.
Okay.
I'm so glad you're back. Thought you were mad at me.
So what you did is you took a portion of your body cam video and a portion of your cell phone video and you spliced them together.
I don't know if I would say splice, but I put them together.
That's an old-fashioned movie term from when they used to have actual film.
Showing your age, Binger.
Because it's the same exact event. Like I said, you could take a look at the body cam footage as well. You can see it as well on there.
And you're testifying here today that through your attorney, you have provided the defense and the state with that entire incident recorded on both your body cam and on your cell phone?
Yep.
But what we just saw was your editing of them together.
You guys asked for my footage, so I gave it to you.
Through your attorney?
Yes.
That's an attorney that you have out of Madison?
What's the relevance of this?
Well, Your Honor, we've had a lot of questions about other
What's
people.
the relevance of this?
Ooh.
I would like to know why he felt the need to retain an attorney to provide video in this case. I think it goes to bias. I think it goes to credibility. It's been asked of other
Let's take
witnesses.
the lunch break. Please don't talk about the case during the break.
Uh-oh, Binger's in trouble again. Dang, Binger.
Where's it coming from?
No, we need sound. Sound. We need sound. Maybe the jury's still going out. Maybe they'll turn it back on. They better turn it back on.
Mr. Baker?
Oh, there we go.
We've already heard other witnesses be asked about why they've retained an attorney before they testify in this case. But in particular, this defendant is represented by the same law firm that employs one of the defense experts. So I believe that goes to bias.
No, it
Do you
doesn't.
want to respond?
I think the only question that came up about a lawyer was when Mr. Grosskreutz had filed the $10 million lawsuit, which is clearly bias evidence. There was a hearing on that.
Yeah, well, there was also testimony by Mr. Yeah, about his employing an attorney after his interview with the district attorney's office.
And Mr. DeBruin, he explained why he had done that based on what he believed to be the conversations with Mr. Binger. The fact that somebody hires a lawyer in and of itself doesn't make them biased.
Yeah, I don't see where, he
Yeah.
may do it for proprietary reasons. People have received a lot of his
Nothing
material
wrong with
that I
hiring a
assume he has
lawyer.
copyright to. I don't know. I'm just assuming, but he's a business person. So I don't know if he's got corporate or business interests in that. The mere fact that he hired a lawyer, I don't see where that's probative of bias.
It's not simply that he hired a lawyer. He hired a lawyer to provide us with this evidence. It would be one thing if he hired a lawyer to organize the articles of incorporation for his business and it had nothing to do with the evidence in this case. The lawyer was the intermediary that gave us this evidence. That was I presume, and I'd like to ask.
There is 100% nothing wrong with getting a lawyer if you are a witness to a crime. Ask any lawyer on YouTube and they will tell you if you feel like as a witness to a crime, you need to get a lawyer before you talk to the police. Go for it. Because you don't know what those cops are going to try to get out of you. They might try to get you to say that you actually did it, that you weren't just a witness. So who knows? Who knows what they might have tried with a witness to this crime? Heck yeah, I'd get an attorney to turn over my work. I mean, because he's a journalist, that's his work product. Yeah, I'd get an attorney to turn it over too. Binger's an idiot.
I presume that was Mr. Hernandez's choice not to give it to us directly. And again, there's been some testimony about him providing some things to the detectives by Dropbox and then not providing other things. And I'd like to probe that. And now in the middle of trial, right. And now in the middle of trial, suddenly we're getting a whole bunch more through an attorney. And so it's not just that he's hiring a random attorney, he's hiring an attorney that is with the same law firm as one of their expert witnesses.
Who's that?
Coincidence.
Is it Henley Burrish? I've got the name of the firm here, Your Honor, if I could have 1 second. Hurley Burrish is the firm. They are out of Madison. And the defense has retained Peyton, Peyton, Engel, Engel, as an expert witness. He's employed by the same firm that also is representing this witness. So I think that goes to bias.
Do you have an expert from a law firm? Is that what you're telling me? Am I understanding that right?
The expert did a phone dump. So they have an expert who does what you would describe as when law enforcement takes a cell phone and does a search of the phone.
Sure. Okay.
That's what he did. They employ someone there to do it for anyone. And we used that person to do it for Mr. Rittenhouse. They did no legal work, and as that term for a lawyer-client kind of thing. He did it to do, I think it's a Cellbrite extraction.
If you asked me to do a phone dump, in addition to thinking, I would have to go to somebody to comply.
This is a law firm, Your Honor, that's getting presumably paid by the defense for expert witness services, and presumably paid by this witness to represent him. There's a commonality there,
It's
and
a
that I believe shows bias.
coincidence.
Now, you may see it differently, the jury may see it differently, but I'd like to explore this, and the jury can evaluate how that affects the credibility of this witness. But it's not something where he's hiring an attorney to help him buy a piece of property or get him out of a divorce or something like that. It's directly pertaining to the evidence that he's testifying about in this case.
Well, I probably will allow this. I want to think about it for the next half hour. But I don't know if we're headed anywhere that's going to get us something of value. You're introducing on the subject of bias, which of course is bias evidence is admissible because it calls into credibility the witnesses. It calls into question the witnesses' credibility. He's generally just presented videos. There has been some testimonial statement, but I'll permit it, I think, somewhat, but you're talking about his employing a law firm, and for reasons we've already discussed, there's going to be a limit. In fact, I think I shut down somebody I was told not to inquire further on representation. Discussion with an attorney, I think it was Mr. Sharafi asked about something, and I wouldn't let him do it. So it's going to be a closely watched door. All right, anything else?
What time do you want to stay?
Let's hope for 1 o'clock. I don't know. Hope the Asian food isn't coming. Isn't on one of those boats in Long Beach Harbor. But let's aim for 1 o'clock.
I don't like his decision because I don't see a connection.
On social media
Yes.
in support of Kyle Rittenhouse.
One could argue yes.
You've also been watching this trial while it's been going on, correct?
Yes.
And when you've been testifying, you've been referring to the defendant by his first name, Kyle, correct?
Yes.
And you've been referring to the first person that he killed as Mr. Rosenbaum
Yes.
instead of Joe or Joseph, correct? Is that yes?
Yes.
Do you, as you sit here today, do you personally know the defendant?
No.
But yet you call him by his first name,
That's his legal name. What else am I supposed to call him?
Mr. Rittenhouse or the defendant?
I'm going to interject here. I do have a rule that is honored in the breach, as Chaucer wrote, that witnesses are to be addressed formally, so that there's no distinction between classes and races and that type of thing. Except I do permit an attorney representing the defendant to use a first name, because that would be the normal mode of address between a lawyer and a client. I would tell you that throughout this trial and every other,
She has to
people
come
slip
watch her
into
trial.
people by their first names, and if it's brought to my attention, then I discourage it or even stop it. But just so you know, it generally should be Mr. Rittenhouse and Mr. Rosenbaum. Okay. Okay. Thanks.
You testified that you observed Mr. Rittenhouse. You made a hand gesture. You characterized him as trying to de-escalate the situation. Is that right?
Yes.
Were you wearing your body cam when that happened?
Yes.
Do you have footage of that?
Yes.
Have we seen that yet?
It's been submitted to you guys.
Right, but was it played when you testified?
No.
You also characterized, there was a video that was played of the incident at the Ultimate gas station with Mr. Rosenbaum and the dumpster. Fair to say?
The flaming dumpster.
You were personally at that location when that all happened, correct?
Yes.
Was the defendant?
I cannot recall. I was not there. Or I can't
You were there.
recall he was there or not. Yes, I was there.
You never saw him at that scene, correct?
No.
You also mentioned that at one point you observed a fire at a mechanic shop. Do you remember
Yes.
where that was?
It was a couple blocks away from Sheraton. I don't remember exactly.
That was some tires
Yes.
that were on fire in the middle of that lot, correct?
Yes.
And you have no idea who started that fire.
No.
You're not here testifying that Mr. Rosenbaum started that fire.
No.
You're not here testifying that anyone else in this case started that fire, correct?
I have no idea who started that fire.
In the video that we played earlier, this is the video where you're walking down the street, you see the tipped over garbage can, the road, people lighting on fire, and then you start walking in the same direction as the defendant. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes, Rosenbaum.
It was
Joseph Rosenbaum.
It was Rosenbaum, furthest south on Sheridan, Mr. Rittenhouse, and then I don't know if you know this individual. There's a Richie McGinnis. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
And he was heading in that same direction between you and the defendant. Is that fair to say?
Yes, based upon the footage, yes.
And you're aware that there comes a
She
time
fed
in
up with being
the video that
you.
you made where the defendant starts to run. Do you remember that?
I didn't make any videos.
Recorded.
Yes.
There comes a time in the video you recorded in which you saw Mr. Rittenhouse start running. Is that fair to say?
After Joseph Rosenbaum was lighting a fire in the middle of the street, he had his face covered and he stopped and started going towards car source 3, walking. And a couple seconds after, you see Kyle Rittenhouse walk past the frame with a fire extinguisher.
The question I was asking you, though, sir, is there comes a time after that where in your video, Mr. Rittenhouse starts running towards that car source. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And Mr. McGinnis, who is between you and the defendant, also starts running.
Yes.
And you start running.
Yes.
Why?
Because the rioters were saying en route to car source, en route to car source. And someone yelled out either burn in hell or burn inside or burn it down. It's hard to make out. But they were clearly displaying riotous, arsonist behavior prior to that and covering riots all of 2020. I could tell something violent was about to happen.
Such as an arson or a fire?
Possibly, yes.
What else could possibly have happened?
At the time, that's what I was thinking.
So you were mostly concerned about running to get there in time to cover what you thought was going to be a fire.
Yes.
Was your decision to start running based on you seeing the defendant start to run?
No.
So you just independently decided to run at that time?
I just told you, people were saying en route to car source. Someone said burn in hell, burn it down. And the prior nights, the rioters were burning down buildings in Kenosha.
The people that you quote as saying those things, they're walking down the middle of the road, weren't they?
Some were walking, yes.
The people that say those things don't start running at the same time you do they?
I couldn't tell who said it.
Did you, these people you're characterizing as arsonists, rioters, whatever language you're using, were any of them running towards the 63rd car source?
Some were way ahead of me, in front of me, so I wouldn't be able to tell.
So you didn't know whether those people way ahead of you were running or not?
No, it'd be too far to tell.
So I know you said you started running. What other people around you were running at that very moment? If you know.
Richie was in front of me. So I think Richie McGinnis was the one that started running. And then while we started hearing all of the noise and people saying burn it down, that's when I started to go run towards the car source.
So one of the factors in your decision to start running was the fact that you saw Mr. McGinnis start to run.
Yes, one of the factors.
And you are, you post on Twitter, correct?
Yes.
And you have a Twitter name that is at Drew H Live.
Yes.
Is that right? And Drew H Live is your show that you have, or your website, correct?
Yes, on YouTube.
Okay. And you tweeted about this incident on the night of August 25th, didn't you?
Yes.
Shortly after everything happened.
Yes.
And you were talking about an armed citizen who opened fire on a rioter,
Yes.
right? And you characterized the rioters as planning to burn down the car dealership, correct?
Yes.
And it seems like you're suggesting then that the defendant he's the armed citizen that you're referring to, right?
Yes.
That he is, you, in your opinion, took necessary action to stop these rioters. That's what your tweet is basically suggesting, right?
At the time, it appeared that he was attempting to protect the local business from
So-
violent rioters that had already displayed that behavior 2 nights prior.
So this is an example, and this is, by the way, this is at 11:35 p.m. on August 25th, 2020. I know you said you're from Arizona. Is it possible that this was Arizona time, so 2 hours behind us? Because the shootings hadn't happened here until about 11:50 p.m. So I'm wondering if that's why there might be a time difference. Do you know?
No, I posted that. Are you referring to the video of the shooting of Mr. Rosenbaum?
That's part of it, yes.
Okay, yeah, I posted that specific video maybe about 20 minutes after it happened, the original video.
And by that time, you had made a conclusion in your own mind that what the defendant did was the right thing. Fair to say?
I would have to take a look at the specific tweets to remember what I was saying and why I was saying it.
This is the tweet from 11:35 p.m. on August 25th, 2020, which in Kenosha would have been before the shooting actually occurred. And you say, it appears an armed citizen was defending the car dealership and opened fire on the rioter who was attempting to vandalize or burn the dealership down. Before the shooting took place, the rioters were planning to burn down their, quote, next car dealership, end quote. Do you remember that tweet?
Yes.
And that was shortly after this all happened.
Yes.
Now, you were also asked if you had observed various individuals that night, and you've told us about your observations of Joseph Rosenbaum. Fair?
Yes.
And have you showed us or talked about all of the observations or videos that you have with regard to Joseph Rosenbaum?
Yes.
Do you know if you have any that pertain to Gage Grosskreutz?
No.
No, I don't know, or no, I don't.
No, I don't know. It's a lot of footage. I would have to go through a lot of footage. He might run through a frame randomly. So that's what I would say.
Can we pull up Exhibit 152, please? And we're going to play this at the 1 minute and 51 second mark. All right. Mr. Hernandez, are you able to see that okay?
Yes.
All right, can we play that, please? Pause. There is an individual who is crouching on the ground wearing a blue hat with what appears to be some white lettering on it. Do you see the person I'm talking about?
Yes.
Do you know who that is?
I do not right now off the top of my head.
Is there any disagreement that that's Gage Grosskreutz? And you were recording this because there's someone on the ground there that appears to be injured and is being treated by medics. Is that fair to say?
Yes, because they were rioting.
Okay. Let's go to exhibit number 153. Oh, Karen, are you okay? Do you need a tissue or anything? Okay. Let's go to Exhibit 153 at the 40-second mark, please. Can we back it up 10 seconds, please? Go ahead. Mr. Hernandez, is this video that you recorded on your body cam?
Yes.
And did you see something that was being shown in your direction?
Yes, a laser.
Where was that coming from?
I have no idea.
You recorded this video maybe a lot or two away, a house property away from the 59th Street car source, didn't you?
Yes.
And that's a laser coming from someone who was up on the roof of that car source, right?
Yes.
And you're holding up your press badge because you're worried that someone who's pointing that laser at you is also at the same time pointing a gun at you, correct?
Yes.
And that made you fearful for your safety, didn't it?
The context of this is the rioters had already attempted to get into spark some kind of confrontation. That's what I testified to earlier. So then they went behind this building and started throwing rocks at the people on top of the building. Okay.
My question was very simple. When that person on the roof is shining that laser pointer at you and you think that they're pointing a gun at you, that made you fear for your safety, didn't it? He didn't answer that.
Question? What did you say?
Asked and answered. He said yes.
Do you recall the question?
Yes, because I didn't want to be misidentified as a rioter.
And you were fearful for your safety at that moment, weren't you?
I'm always fearful in the midst of riots.
Sir, at that moment, when that person on the roof is pointing a laser pointer at you and you think there's a gun pointed at you, you were fearful for your safety, weren't you?
Because I didn't want to get misidentified as a rioter.
Are you able to answer that question with a yes or a no?
I will say in fairness, I think the witness has answered it now.
Fair enough. I have no further questions.
A couple. Mr. Hernandez, do you believe that posting videos of what you saw was done to help Kyle?
No, because at the moment I posted all these videos on social media, I had no idea who Kyle Rittenhouse was or Joseph Rosenbaum the night of the riot.
And the purpose of posting the videos was what?
To report. I'm a journalist. I'm a reporter.
Mr. Bringer had showed you a picture of or a video of the green laser thing.
Mm-hmm.
Any idea who did that?
I have no idea.
Nothing else.
You say you're a journalist and a reporter?
Yes.
Earlier, you identified yourself as a professional commentator.
All the above.
Is it your practice as a journalist to interject your personal opinion into the stories you're reporting on?
No.
But you did that here.
Where?
On August 25th, a few minutes after these shootings, you posted on Twitter your opinion as to whether the defendant in your mind was right or wrong in doing what he did, correct?
No, I said apparently at the beginning of that statement.
What effect does that have?
It means apparently. It doesn't mean that this is 100% my opinion.
You had already jumped to a conclusion, an apparent conclusion at that moment, right?
That's what apparently means.
But that's not what journalists do, right?
Where we're headed here.
100% what
I'll be done. Thank you.
100% what
Okay,
journalists do.
exhibits 152 and 153 in the evidence, Your Honor.
Objection.
No.
Received.
Your Honor, we're to the point, I think, where we need to get the information from Mr. Black and Armstrong. I believe my associate has emailed the updated report to your clerk. And once that's done, I think we're done. I do wish that all the pictures that Nathan DeBrune viewed be published to the jury. I never did that when I moved them into evidence.
You'll have to give the numbers you wanted short of the
Okay.
jury,
I can find that.
but you can do that.
You want just black and white, you know, recall it?
Yeah, Binger, where'd you go to journalism school? That is 100% what journalists do. Turn on CNN or Fox News and tell me. Or let's quote Scream. They stage the news, Dewey. That's what they do. That's from Scream 2, actually. What are we waiting on now? Hello to all my lurkers. Thank you for being here. Okay, the video the video
Can I give those?
Yes.
glitched, and so now I don't know what's happening. Are they I'm hoping they sent the jury out for whatever they're doing. Are they about to start the charging conference already? Who wears a black jacket with a burgundy shirt?
which had a certain contrast and brightness level?
The video that was given to me yes, sir. I had a raw video with
And then when you did work on that video, you adjusted the contrast and the brightness on your work to try and match the original?
no.
I'm
Okay.
misunderstanding.
No, and I'm probably misspeaking. The process on this is I have a video. I cut out the piece I'm going to work on so I don't have it. It takes a lot of energy or computing power to work on it. It has that amount of frames. And then I process that piece. So that piece of video, I run through, in this case, with some very just simple processes, which is I level adjust, which is just simply adjusting the brightness and the contrast to see if I can get more clarity out of it. And then from there, I like what the clarity looks like because I can see a preview of it. Okay, it looks like I can see a little bit more, do whatever. I then put it into a no audio track, as we already discussed earlier, an MP4 file, and I say, it'd be nice if this was a little bit slower so I can make more sense out of it, and I simply adjust the frame rate. If it was 60 and I wanted a little bit slower, maybe I'll start at a 10, maybe I'll go down to 6 until I can discern stuff. So that's what I'm describing. Big file original, raw. What was given to me is raw. Extract, same exact speed, no alterations, no nothing. Then the extract, levels enhanced, slowed, frame reduction.
So what I'm getting at is when you have that extract and you're enhancing the levels, you personally are adjusting the brightness and contrast in that extract.
That is absolutely correct.
And you're doing that because you're hoping that by making those adjustments, it'll make things in the video easier to see.
That's fair.
And with regard to the rest of the document you gave us since the last time you testified, you also indicate that you did a similar process with the BG on the scene or BG on the go video, which shows the second set of shootings. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
And again, with that, you adjusted the contrast and the brightness yourself.
Yes, sir.
And you did that because you were trying to make it so that things in that video were easier to see.
Also correct.
Okay. You played for us earlier that video on your computer, broadcast onto our TVs. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And when you played it for us, you had it slowed down to a certain speed. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
I thought I heard you say earlier, and maybe I was wrong. I thought you said a quarter speed.
That's what I thought it was. It's actually, and let's make sure we're talking about the right video. Which video are you referring to?
The Brandon Gutschwager or BG on the scene video. I think this is on the second or maybe third to last page of your most recent document.
Right. So that would be, if you take a look on the original starting out at approximately 60 frames per second, that would be, I guess, page 4. And then it goes from 60, reduced down to 7.5. So the math would be a little bit around 8, down to 1/8.
So the version that you played for us this morning, it was at 1/8 speed?
Approximately, yes.
And is that a new video file that you've created using your software?
When it actually changes the frame rate, it produces a different file from that.
That's
Yes.
what I'm asking.
Yes.
So you have a file on your computer that is the BG on the scene video at 1/8 speed. Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say it's the BG on the scene video extract, the shortened version at 1/8 speed, or approximately 1/8 speed.
And that's what you played for us earlier.
Yes, sir.
So if we wanted to, for example, we could take that file, mark it as an exhibit, and introduce it into evidence in this case.
Yes, sir.
I would like to do that, Your Honor, with the defense permission.
I had no problem. I would ask that all the videos that you referred to be marked on a hard drive and put into evidence.
I assume that's not something you can do instantaneously. That'll take a little time for us to put them on a hard drive or something along those lines.
If you give me a hard drive, I can do it whatever
We
instantaneous.
can work on that after. I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
When you were working working with these videos, did you change anything other than the color and contrast? We've already talked about frame rate, poor question, long day.
Right.
You changed the frame rate
Correct.
on some of them. You changed the color and contrast on some of them, correct?
Well, I didn't change the color. I changed the brightness.
Color. I'll ask it this way, because were any of the frames color added or subtracted?
No, sir.
Okay. When color is added by either the operator or the program, that's called interpolation.
It's a term, but yes.
And those are done through various different ways. Is that a fair statement?
That's fair.
Okay. One of them is bicubic.
That is a type of interpolation. Yes.
Okay. Can you name the types of interpolation?
I can name some of them, that especially the ones that this software allows me to be aware of or qualified in.
Go ahead.
The three of them would be, for example, nearest neighbor, bilinear, or bicubic are three specific types of interpolation or algorithms used in that. Now, something that should be known about this is these are done primarily when enlargements are being done.
Now, nearest neighbor, it was the first one. The second one you said?
Bilinear,
Bilinear. And the third?
bicubic.
Does nearest neighbor change the color composition of something that's blown up or magnified?
No, what nearest neighbor does is it takes existing values within the frame already and uses those existing values to fill it out, so to speak. If I had something that was pitch black here, 100% black, and it said, hey, we need to get bigger, it would fill it out only using that color of black or white or whatever else happens to be within the frame.
Bilinear, does that add colors?
To some degree. In other words, if you had something that was, well, let's just use like a line of blue, and you had a line of red, there would be something that exists between the blue and the red value here that would not necessarily have been there before, so to speak.
So the computer, through its program, fills in the blank, so to speak.
Yes, sir.
Bicubic, does that add anything?
Yes, much in the same way as bilinear does, but the difference is, as it sounds, linear is more, think straight lines, and bicubic is if I had something in the middle, it would basically gradually go out to match the other color. So if you were to think about it like a progression, you would start here, and if I have so far to go to get here, it would take a little bit more of each of that color. So you'd have a much more seamless image. You'll get much less jaggedness to it, that type of thing.
And as you sit here today, is there any clip that you could take and just show by moving the bars, color and contrast, what happens? Not color, brightness and contrast, I believe.
Yeah, I can actually.
Could you demonstrate that for the jury? Take one of the standard clips.
And you just want the idea of brightness and contrast, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
You haven't added anything to it?
No, I haven't added anything to it, nor has the computer added anything to it. There's no interpolation being done with this other than the lightening and the algorithm for the lightening and the contrast, but there's no additional pixels being added. I'm not affecting the pixel count.
And you did that on some of the videos that we've shown this jury previously.
The two videos that have been demonstrated to this jury that I worked on, that I did the clips from, This is all that I did. There was other videos worked on that I did do enlargement and these type of things. They were done by nearest neighbor law source. As far as I know, they have not been presented to this jury.
Understood. Thank you, doctor.
Yes, sir.
You may sit down.
Thank you, sir.
There's some housekeeping matters and
About 10, 15 minutes, so please don't talk about the case during the break.
Speaking to the clarified files.
So, Mr. Armstrong, you had provided to Mr. Kraus this afternoon kind of the, I don't want to say the notes, but the work that you had done in terms of the images that you had blown up at his request. Is that, I know it's a rough way to say it, but is that fair?
Yes, fair, yes.
Okay. And I don't know if you have the report with you, but if you do, could you just turn to page 7 to make sure I'm the right passage?
We're speaking to the clarified files, correct?
Yeah, the ones that you had done in reference to the latest, I think, 8 photos that were asked to be enlarged.
You said page 7, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, gotcha.
So, on the top of that page, it says chain, is that fair?
That is fair, yes.
And then as we move down, there's a portion or a headline or a title in bold that says interpolation, right? See that?
No, I'm not seeing it.
Let me see what you got.
That's what I have. Page 6. Oops. Page 7. Oh,
Maybe this
Sorry.
helps. I'm
Yep.
asking that does the R20,
2992, yes, that
does
helps.
that help? Okay.
One moment, please. Sorry, I need to see, may I see what you're referring to again?
You want me to keep this here?
Yes, that'd be great. Thank you. Sorry, I'm there. Thank you.
So it says in bold interpolation, right?
Yes,
And then next to that it says bicubic.
that's correct.
Okay, and what does that mean?
Means that the interpolation algorithm that was selected was bicubic.
Are there other interpolation methods that you could use?
There is, yes.
And what are some of those?
For example, nearest neighbor is one. Bicubic, bilinear.
Are they speaking English?
Can I just ask you to do this so we understand this? The photo that you enlarged at the state's request, how much is it pixels that you expand? What do you do to make it bigger?
It's based off of the enlargement is the interpolation that is used. So with regards to this references a video that was interpolated and outputted. Are you speaking to the photo?
Yeah, speaking to photo, what numbers?
It's the 1 of 8 where it shows up.
So this is when marked as states 155. I'm going to add specifically about that one.
Okay.
Okay. So you have taken a still of a video and you have zoomed in on it, for lack of a better term.
I would not say zoom. I would say it's been enlarged.
Okay. And how do you do that?
We use a algorithm, bicubic algorithm, for that. For this particular, are you referring to both images or just one?
They're both the same, right?
This one was used with a smart resize algorithm, and then this one is used with bicubic.
No, that's
I'm
not.
sorry, you said this one was smart size?
Smart resize.
And what is that?
That is a algorithm that is part of the AMP5 software that resizes that image.
So I don't know if this is going to be easier for me to do it this way. I don't know if the court it will be easier for the court, but in my tell me if this is right. Can you just turn and take a peek for a second? Okay. So when you are making things in large, right? You are you adding pixels?
Yes, I am adding pixels.
Okay. And so tell me if this is bicubic interpolation, okay? And I know this will be rudimentary, but forgive me. So if these are pixels, R is going to stand for red, okay? And these are red. And these are pixels, and these are blue. When you enlarge an image, what does the bicubic algorithm do to these pixels?
The bicubic algorithm is taking those pixels and resampling, is basically duplicating those pixels into another area. Beyond that, I cannot say.
Do you know, based on your training and experience, what color the bicubic algorithm makes these pixels?
I do not know.
Do you know if we know this is a red pixel and we know this is a blue pixel and those are real colors, will it combine these two pixel colors to actually change the color of the image? You know what I'm saying?
I can't speak to that.
So you can't.
I want to be clear. Listen, the unassigned ones that you have in the middle.
Yeah.
Those are the added ones.
Yes.
Okay.
So the added pixels, and what, to be fair, in terms of what we're looking for, to make sure it's the color's correct, that we're not distorting the color of the thing we're looking at, it's adding pixels, and my concern, my question for you is it adding the correct color of the original image?
That goes beyond into the algorithm of the program that I do not have that information for.
Okay, so if I can ask you this. These two photographs that you have enlarged, okay, so you've added pixels to those, right?
Correct.
Okay. And are you able to tell the court the colors that were there originally are actually the same colors when I expand or enlarge the photograph with the added pixels? Are you able to say that?
I'm not able to say that, no.
So tell me if I'm right. So the things that the court would be looking at here, and the colors that the court would be looking at, you can't tell the court that in fact that's the color from the original picture, correct?
It comes down to the programming, the algorithm. I cannot say it.
Maybe say 1 second here. My last couple questions for you, sir. Could you have used another algorithm that wouldn't have changed the potential color of the pixels that you added?
There's no testimony that the color has been changed.
I didn't hear you.
There's been no testimony that the color has been changed.
It was my impression, and I beg your correction, it was my impression that in the effort to enlarge the image, that the individual is inserting some, I'm going to call them uncharged pixels, that the algorithm is going to assign colors, which is beyond his control. Where am I going wrong?
My question was, could he have used a different algorithm?
No, I'm not, you're past me. I'm just trying to understand if I've got the basic concept down.
Yeah, my understanding was it was beyond his scope of his expertise.
I heard
say the
No,
expanded
I'm back, way back.
All right.
I'm still using watercolors. He is enlarging, he wants to enlarge the image. And he's inserting some pixels in there. And so he gives it a command to insert the pixels. And he doesn't know what color they're going to come out. Is that it? Is that it, sir?
I would say, Your Honor, it's as to how that algorithm interpolates those pixels and where it places them goes outside the scope of my knowledge.
Well, what do you, I mean no disrespect, what do you know?
What I do know is that the process that I use to expand or enlarge this image and the interpolation method that was used. Anything beyond that within my software, with the software I use, I do not have any additional
And
information.
competing programs might insert different colors,
It's possible.
and you wouldn't have any way of knowing.
I do not have any way to know if those different interpolation methods would issue different colors to different pixels.
Now, what were you telling me?
What I had asked him was, I wasn't telling you anything. I asked a question that was objected to, which was there another method that could have been used? Which, and I think the wording that I had said was, wouldn't have changed the pixel colors, which if I drew the objection.
And what was the objection?
The objection, there's not testimony that any colors were changed.
How would you know?
He may or may not, but the way he asked it is assuming that colors changed.
I'll have you to rephrase.
Marty.
Is there another interpolation type of program that you're aware of that when pixels are expanded would keep the color constant through the expansion?
I cannot speak to that.
Would you agree the more pixels that you add, the more interpolation happens?
Yes.
So the question that I have and that is when you expand the photograph, you're adding pixels, but you can't tell the court what color is being added, if any.
I cannot speak to that. No, that comes down to the programming the algorithm on the software.
So the original still has colors and pixels. It's expanded. Those pixels expand. The question is, do the colors stay constant?
I do not know.
Because that's all I have.
Mr. Armstrong, is the software you use similar to the Input ACE software?
It's similar.
So the same algorithms and methods, as far as you know, are also in that software?
It's both softwares are made by two different manufacturers. I can't comment on whether they're the same.
So when you enlarge these images, are you changing any details?
I'm not changing any details.
What are you doing?
We are simply just adding pixels to make the image larger.
Because when you're looking at a smaller image on the screen, say it's 20 by 30 pixels. In order to enlarge that, there need to be more than 20 by 30 pixels, or else it would stay the same size.
That is correct.
So you didn't witness this, but the defense expert was zooming in on video with his Input ACE software. Would that also be adding pixels because it was enlarging it?
It's irrelevant for purposes of what his testimony would be.
I'm trying to let the court understand. I mean,
I beg pardon?
I'm trying to get an understanding of how this works.
Oh, go ahead.
You may answer if you can.
I do not know as to Input ACE and how their interpolation for, if any, is seen by zooming in on there.
So when you talk about adding pixels, the only way to enlarge an image is to add pixels.
Correct.
Now, you don't go in and say, put in black pixels, put in blue pixels, or anything like that.
That is correct. I do know.
The software program does that.
That is correct.
And it has to do that to actually make an image larger.
That is correct.
Now, is this, the defense expert called AMP5 the gold standard of video editing? Is it one of the best programs out there?
It is a program that we use at the lab. Yes.
Now, is it an accepted program? I'm sorry?
You asked him who was the best one, and he responded, that's what we use at the lab. That's not the same thing. Or it doesn't establish that it is in fact the best.
I understand.
I can tell you, not everything the state supplies is top notch. And I'm not talking about the judges, by the way. I said not everything the state supplies is top notch.
So is this the same process as when you hit like full screen on your computer?
No.
Is he talking about Binger?
AMP5 software has an algorithm.
And it was speaking to exactly.
Hey,
When
Dave.
you interpolate, there's an algorithm that fills in the image so that you can actually see it, so that it's magnified.
When you are dealing with looking at it from a preview, it uses its own nearest neighbor, but it does not add pixels in that preview.
So these processes you use, are these the standards used in the forensic imaging that you do?
Yes.
And this is the kind of software that you are trained on?
Yes.
And this is an accepted software program in forensic imaging?
Yes.
And these are accepted procedures in forensic imaging?
Yes.
And that's all. Thank you.
So here's my question. The photograph that we're talking about to be admitted into evidence to have people look at,
Yes.
you can you say that image didn't add colors into pixels that weren't there originally?
I cannot definitively say that because I did not write the software program.
So it's possible when you enlarge an image and add pixels that you're adding colors that weren't there in the original photograph, correct?
I do not know.
And when you said nearest neighbor, nearest neighbor, if I'm right, tell me, what color goes in here on a nearest neighbor?
It utilizes, I'm sorry, I do not know.
Would it become purple?
It's possible.
And purple is nowhere on here, is it?
That is correct.
Nothing else.
Okay.
In order to answer Attorney Trofsky's questions, would you have needed to written the algorithm in the software program?
I would need to, yes, and see exactly how those programs are interpolating those pixels.
Do you ever check the enlarged image against the original image and see if there are consistencies?
Yes, we can certainly compare the original to the enhanced version.
And is your work, and were these images and your work on these images peer reviewed by another forensic imaging specialist?
Yes, that's correct.
Nothing further.
Judge, on that, I have a motion, but I don't have anything else to ask.
You can step down, sir.
Judge, based on his testimony, so what the state is trying to do is introduce a photograph that has been enlarged where this person, Mr. Armstrong, cannot testify that in fact colors weren't added that weren't there originally. And the photograph, I'm going to tell the court that the photograph that the state intends to offer, I believe they will be arguing, shows Mr. Rittenhouse doing something with his firearm. If it is not the same as the original and colors were added to that, that is a distortion of what in fact the original photograph was. It should not be admitted because it's not relevant if he can't testify. And there's been no appropriate foundation that in fact it should be admitted if he can't testify that it didn't add colors, that colors that originally weren't there still aren't there. And I think under the circumstances, based on the evidence that you've heard today, you should not admit those photographs because they are not what I would consider to be mirror images of what the original photograph was.
Judge, all due respect to your honor, I think the defense is trying to take advantage of your lack of knowledge about technology, which you've expressed. With the defense argument, you can never have an enlarged digital picture. All of Nathan, and I understand we didn't object to them, but all of Nathan DeBruin's pictures that he brought in on his own on these prints are enlarged digital images. If the defense is now trying to argue that enlarged digital images are not reliable, I mean, it's first of all hypocritical, but second of all, this is just not the age we're in. We are in an age where software is able to enlarge and do things. And yes, this image, we believe, although blurry because of the enlargement, does show, in rebuttal to Mr. Rittenhouse's testimony, does show him pointing his gun at individuals just before Mr. Rosenbaum chases him. The defense, this is clear in the drone video. We pointed it out in the drone video. The defendant denied it. This is an enlargement of that drone video so that we can see a better picture of it. This whole canard of adding pixels and changing color is a dishonest argument, and I believe the defense knows that. Their expert used a very similar software to zoom in and edit and change things, because if these things are reliable, and they are reliable, and this is what is used by by forensic imaging, forensic scientists, it's the industry standard. So if we're going to say that no technology can be brought in, no enlarged images can ever be brought in, that is a ridiculous standard. And we've heard from 2 experts now about how these algorithms are used and what they do. And simply because this evidence may be not beneficial to their client, and in fact, show their client is lying, they're stupid to this level to try and keep it out. And to me, I think making a dishonest argument based on a number of forensic scientists that have emailed me to discuss this issue with the Apple zooming, which I think was also a very similarly, I don't want to say dishonest, but inaccurate argument, simply trying to keep out these enlarged or cleaned up images that show that their client is lying. He pointed a gun before Joseph Rosenbaum chased him. And this is a rebuttal. This is rebuttal evidence. This is based on someone trained in this area who uses software that is certified in this area. He's trained in this area. This is what these forensic image specialists do. And it's peer reviewed by other forensic images, which frankly, Dr. Black's was not. And so this is actually a much higher standard than the evidence that Dr. Black got in. I understand we didn't object, but for them to have an expert come in, use a very similar software to do similar things, and then try to pretend this is all voodoo magic is preposterous. And
well, wait a minute. A couple of things. Number one, you know, this happens sometimes. Lawyers sit there during the trial and all kinds of stuff comes in and out, and there's no objection raised. And then when there is an objection raised, the party says, well, this went on before in the trial and it was admitted. And I think, okay, but there wasn't an objection. So it was never scrutinized by the court. It just came in. That's number one. Number two, you're the proponent of the evidence. You have the burden of proof. They don't have to disprove the accuracy of this. You have to prove it. Number three, the witness was just here, and when he's asked, what does it depict in terms of whether the color is going to change or to what color, he says, I don't know. Now, this is the person who is providing your information to support your claim that it is an accurate depiction. I will tell you that I totally agree with your comment about my lack of familiarity with these concepts. Although logic, I have some logical skills, and when you start adding, if I take this piece of paper and I start drawing squares on it, and and then I decide I'm going to put it on a bigger piece of paper, and I want to expand them, but I do it by creating even more squares, and I don't know what's going to go into those other squares. I mean, this is difficult a concept for me. Yes, you know, the fact that I can blow something up on my phone, and it's accurate on my phone, doesn't mean that the particular program used by the crime lab is doing an accurate job of increasing the size of the image.
Well, this is an accredited lab using software.
What does that mean to me? What does that mean to me? What does peer reviewed mean to me? if you haven't presented any evidence as to the science or as to the algorithm that's involved,
Judge,
no, I want to see the images.
okay.
Let's take a look. Not that my naked eye is going to be necessarily capable of making the distinction that I need to make, but you've got the burden here. So you
No, I understand.
present the images, I'll take a look at them.
Would you like them on the printed out paper or would you like them on the screen? We have two of them marked,
Well,
or we can put them on the
let's have a
screen.
look. Show me the paper.
What's the other one?
Yeah, you better put them up. I can't make anything out of these at all.
Please put up the first.
Would you like to look at them?
Actually, I've had the best success looking at this one. Now, what is this depicting?
Judge, this is a image from the drone video. It's the exact area where Mr. Rittenhouse looked and denied that that is him holding his weapon, pointing it at the Zeminskis.
Okay, now you tell me, where's Zeminski? Where's the defendant? Where's?
Zeminski is off screen because we asked it to be cropped.
I beg your pardon?
Zeminski is, I believe, off screen. The defendant is right under the sign, right in front of what would be the pole holding up the sign. And right next to him is the fire extinguisher that, as opposed to his actual testimony, is seen on the drone video gently placing on the ground. He then immediately raises up and raises his firearm and points it at the Zeminskis. The defendant denied this even after watching the drone video. This is a blown up image. Obviously, it's blurry because it is blown up, but you can see the black firearm being held in his two hands, albeit it is blurry.
It's blowed up.
And if you'd like to see the
It's
video
blowed
on
up,
his camera,
y'all.
I'll show that to you as well.
Blowed up.
Have that up.
Yep.
Number 82, please.
Brian, 82.
Ah, this is true, Marty. That makes too much sense. They're not going to think of that. They don't think in logic.
Judge, if you look in that area of that, it's clear on the 4K TV, which is why I believe the defense brought that in. It's clear on the 4K TV, which is the one the defense brought in. But the area where that enhances is as the video begins.
Turn it this way.
As the video begins, if you look under that sign, you will see the defendant step into view. He gently places his fire extinguisher on the ground. And then he raises up and points his weapon at the Zeminskis, who I believe you can see once this light, traffic light's out of the way. You play it, Brian? Please do it one more time, Mr. Stute. The defendant raises the fight to his gun. He raises his weapon and points it at them. He's pointing it right now, right here. He's still pointing it at them. Do it again, please.
Back to the beginning.
He hasn't pointed at them until Mr. Rosenbaum is done. Do it again. With 30 props and yards.
Run it again, please.
Oh, Teresia, thank you so much. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very, very much. Yep, my husband's the same
What
way.
I'm gonna do is,
He can look at something and
Already,
figure out how it works.
that is subject to, the witness is gonna be cross-examined in front of the jury, and they'll have to make up their own decision.
And just so I can be clear, he doesn't get to say what those images are, right?
No, he will not be doing that.
Okay,
Should I clean that up? Start with the one?
Judge, I know the defense is going to rest, and then we will call a rebuttal witness. We were just made aware of a couple issues with the defendant's testimony. We believe we could potentially get a witness here this afternoon to rebut it. We were just made aware of it. So we may, at the end of this, be asking to keep rebuttal open.
so when?
Well, we're working to see if we can get a witness. It'd be a person from the Grays Lake Police Department to rebut the fact that Mr. Rittenhouse was issued a bulletproof vest by them. They indicate they did not issue him one. Also, I can't imagine we find someone, but the Arizona State or whatever university the defendant claims to be attending says he is not enrolled there and is not going to college there. I don't imagine we can get a witness for that, but we, of course, will work on that.
We can open his webpage, his student webpage. So,
Well,
this-
I'm not gonna cut off their right to
yeah.
rebuttal. All right, are we ready for the jury?
We know
Yes.
he lied about being an EMT.
Would you come down, please?
Do they need to prove every lie he's ever told? Like I said, Binger, it's all your fault. If you had charged reckless endangerment, you would have had him. But you had to get greedy. You wanted first degree intentional murder. No, I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea, Marty. And I guess the body armor lie would be relevant to the case. How do you get to be that age and not realize how dangerous lying is? Because you have to remember all your lies. And he's not even a good liar because you shouldn't tell lies that could be debunked that easily.
Continue.
At this time, the defense would move into exhibit 142 and 140, and we would rest.
All right, any objections,
No.
142 and 140?
Subject,
I
final review of
watched it.
142, no.
I didn't cover it,
All
but I
right,
watched it.
receive. Did you wish to present rebuttal?
That
Yes,
little
City
girl,
James
oh
Armstrong
my
consent.
God. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine doing that to my parents. And it was just normal teenage stuff. It wasn't like she was being abused or, you know,
You're still under oath.
kept hidden in the house or whatever. It was normal teenage stuff. They didn't like her boyfriend and
Welcome
she
back,
was
Mr.
vaping
Armstrong.
THC.
You testified a few days ago about some
Seriously.
videos
Come on.
from a drone footage that were entered into evidence.
Yes.
Did you do any additional work on that drone footage?
Yes, it was requested that I enhance a person near a vehicle underneath the sign.
And how did you go about doing that?
I took two different approaches. The first one, I frame averaged, which means that I selected a group of frames. From there, frame average. From there, I frame averaged those, stabilized first, then frame average. From there, went through and clarified it, which just means that we're using levels, we just brightened it up, and then enlarged it.
And these practices you talked about, are these standards in the forensic imaging world?
They are, yes.
And so are these accepted practices in forensic imaging?
They are,
The software you used, is it accepted software program in forensic imaging?
yes.
And was your work on these images did it go through the peer review process?
I went through a peer review process by another qualified analyst.
And did you write this software?
I did not write this software.
And this enlargement, does it use any kind of computer programs or systems to make the enlargement?
Yes, it uses an algorithm to enlarge that image.
And what kind of process or algorithm was used for the image with the individual under the sign?
For the image underneath the sign, the image that is on towards the left, a smart resize, and then the image on the right was by cubic.
And are these accepted procedures in forensic imaging?
Yes, Yes, that's correct.
And did you write the algorithms that do these procedures?
I did not, no.
So do you know the actual specifics of how the algorithms work?
I do not, no.
But they're part of a software program that is accepted in use in forensic imaging.
Yes, that's correct.
It is, but I don't know that he's going to get the witness to grasp an answer that he wouldn't otherwise make, so the objection's overruled.
What is the software that you
Rebuttal for the
used?
defense
It's
rep?
called Amped 5.
We've heard some testimony today about a software program called Input Ace. Is that a similar software program, to the best of your knowledge, to Amped 5?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
To the best of your knowledge, did the crime lab have to choose between those two as to which software they would use?
Yes, the Amped 5 was chosen.
Were you part of that process?
I was only part of the process of making the recommendation.
Is that what you recommended?
That was my choice, yes.
Sorry?
That was my choice. Overall,
I think you said it was your choice.
It was my recommendation to our technical unit leader it was my recommendation to our technical unit leader for my preference of software between the two.
I'll let you know what's in marked as States Exhibit 155. Do you recognize this?
Yes, that appears to be the report print that I created. A report print?
And this report print has 2 images on it.
That is correct.
And is it a true and accurate representation of the report you created?
It appears to be so, yes.
And you said there were some differences between the algorithms used on the images.
Yes, that is correct.
And what is the difference?
The difference being is that with regards to the clarification techniques on the image on the left, that was frame averaging. The image on the right, the difference being is that just a single frame was used.
And I put a piece of paper down in front of you. Do you mind flipping that over? What's the number on top of that one?
Exhibit S156.
Do you recognize that?
Yes, that is report print number 2.
And what is report print number 2?
Report print number 2 is clarified and enlarged files or images that I produced.
And where were where were you looking to enhance these images from?
We were looking to enhance the the area where 2 individuals are observed.
And so this is a different part of the drone video than the first exhibit.
That is correct.
What did you do to produce these images?
To produce these images, I just, again, clarified. So I use levels to brighten it up and then also to enlarge as well.
And all the procedures you used standard and accepted in forensic imaging?
Yes, that is correct.
You actually created 6 more reports as well?
Correct, yes.
And just to not go through every one, were they all created with standards of forensic imaging?
Yes, that is correct.
You reviewed them and you know that the ones that the state's submitting are the ones that you submitted to us?
That is correct.
At this point, I would like to move all 8 into evidence and publish 155 and 156 to the jury.
all right. Well, they're admitted, subject to the cross-examination.
So can I publish them?
Not yet.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Raffa, you can't see this, can you?
I can partially see it.
All right, I just want to make sure that members of the jury can, okay?
Understood.
So the in terms of your enlarging this image, from the information that's been provided to us, you did that through a bicubic interpolation program. Is that right?
I provided that through a smart resize and also by cubic, depending upon the image that you're referring to.
Okay. And when you're making the image larger, you're adding pixels to that image. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. So my question to you in terms of your work on this is, in a situation where each individual pixel, you'd agree, has a color, if there's color involved, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so if these pixels are blue, and we know from the original that these pixels are red, when you're expanding the image, you're adding pixels, correct?
You are adding pixels, yes.
You don't know when you're adding and enlarging that and adding pixels, you don't know what color you're adding to these pixels. Is that right?
I do not know the interpolation, the algorithm what it exactly is doing when it's adding those pixels.
There are programs, if I'm right, are there programs that would just default it blue, even though it might not be?
I do not know.
Do you know if there's programs that would take the blue pixel and the red pixel, combine them, and make a color purple when it's actually not purple?
I do not know.
Does it change? So here's the question I have for you. So if you take a picture of me right here and you expand it and blow it up, it's going to add pixels, so it might change. The pixels could become white for the color of my shirt or black for the color of my tie, correct?
It's going to be sampling the pixels that from your example,
Yeah.
and and calculating those pixels out, and then duplicating those pixels into that image.
Can you do that again? What was your answer?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat your question?
I'll try. So what we're doing here, what you've done is you've taken a still photograph, right?
Yes.
You've blown it up and added pixels to that photograph.
That is correct.
Okay. Those pixels have to contain or do contain information, right?
That is correct.
Some of that information is color, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So if the best example I would give you is if you take a picture of my chest, my shirt, and you blow it up, you're going to be adding pixels around my shirt and my tie, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so the question is this. In terms of the accuracy of that enlarged image, you don't know whether those pixels are black for my tie or white for my shirt, right?
I cannot speak to the algorithm that's being used and how it's interpreting it.
And that, to be fair, that could distort or not make an accurate picture of what we're seeing, right?
It's possible.
Right. So the images, and when we're looking at smaller images that are blown up, adding color that's not actually there can make the photograph not accurate, right?
But all the steps that were taken are repeatable.
So what does that have to do with the fact that you don't know what the colors are added? You don't know the colors that are added. So how do you know that's accurate?
I do not know to the algorithm and how it's using it.
So when we're doing that on small images like a marker in my hand or something like that, and you want to see what this is from a far distance away, it might be adding color that's not actually there. Right?
It may be.
So the image that we're asking people to look at might not actually be an accurate representation of the original image. True?
It's possible.
Would it take something that was present? So the example I gave you was my top.
Mhm.
If you expand that, is it going to add more black pixels?
It will add, no, it will not add any more detail than what is originally there.
But it's going to add pixels. You just don't know what color they're going to be.
Correct.
Is it more difficult to do that in situations where you're further away, meaning the distance from the photograph? The further the distance from the photograph, the more difficult it is, or the more pixels that need to be added to blow it up,
We're
right?
saying more distant from the photograph, you mean the object depicted?
Sorry, yep. So the object depicted in the photograph, the further away that is, the more pixels need to be added when you enlarge it, right?
Correct. If you wanted to enlarge it, yes.
And the more pixels that are added, the more availability there is for distortion in terms of the color in those pixels, correct?
In terms of the color, it's possible.
And would that be also true? Would that be true for the size? I think I asked you this, but I'm trying to figure this out. The size of the image that you're trying to make larger. So the bigger the image in the photograph, the easier it is to enlarge.
There's more information. There's more pixels that are present to enlarge in that area.
Okay. So if I, for example, if I had something on my clothing and you enlarged it, would that make the thing on my clothing more pronounced?
It may not. No,
Would it make it less pronounced?
it may not.
It may keep it the same even though the photograph is bigger.
It does not. Interpolation does not add detail. So if you are enlarging something on your clothing, all it's doing is making that image larger. The detail that may or may not be there is not added. You're not adding additional detail to that image.
You're just adding unknown information.
Yes. No, you're not adding unknown information. You're adding, you're interpolating those pixels and you're adding those particular pixels.
Right. And those pixels contain information.
Yes.
And that information contains color.
Yes.
And you're not sure whether or not how that color scheme works in that situation, right?
I do not know.
Okay. Sure, thanks for your
time. Mr. Kraus?
Do these programs add detail?
These programs do not add detail.
And how long did you work with this drone video, all told?
All told, I received it on Sunday, and I finished all my work with regards to these requests as of yesterday.
So you worked on it for more than 3 days.
Correct.
Would you have submitted a exhibit that did not seem to be consistent with the original footage?
objection argument.
Uh,
And foundational.
It is argumentative.
Did you make sure that if the reports that you identified were not consistent with the drone footage that you become familiar with, would you have produced them?
I would not have produced them if there was any information in there that did not seem accurate to me.
So you do compare it to the original?
I did not compare it to the original in this instance, no.
And what is this sampling that you talk about?
The bicubic and smart resize.
Yes.
Those are two different algorithms that use to interpolate that information.
So do these algorithms look at, so let me ask this way. On a digital photograph, to make it bigger, do you have to add pixels?
You do have to add pixels, yes.
So if I take a photo from my phone and I want it on a 5x7, I'd be adding pixels to it.
You would be.
So this is something that's commonly done to photographs.
It is, yes.
Now, these algorithms, how do they know, to the best of your knowledge, how to add the pixels?
To my best of my knowledge, it depends on the algorithm, and that's the extent of my expertise on that.
So what is the sampling process?
The sampling process is looking at the pixels and providing more data to that file.
So it looks at the pixels and looks at what's around it, and that's how it adds the pixels.
That is correct.
So it's not just arbitrarily choosing colors to put in.
Not to my knowledge.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Sir, you never compared the photograph in front of you to the original? That's what you testified to?
I did not compare the original. I did my analysis on that original video, but I didn't compare them side by side. No.
Well, you were asked, you wouldn't submit it if you didn't think it was a fair and accurate representation and all that other stuff, right?
Right.
But you never looked at the two of them next to each other to confirm that, right?
To confirm that, to compare the original to the exported file, no.
And I know Mr. Truss talked about, you take a photograph of your family or whatever and you make it bigger, right? You're probably not as concerned in a family photograph that you're adding pixels and where colors are going as you might be in, for example, say, a homicide investigation, right?
That is true.
Okay. So making sure that the information that's added to these pictures and the information is in the pixels, making sure that's accurate, that's an important part of your responsibilities, correct?
That would be yes.
And you don't know how that happens in this particular case, correct?
I do not know the algorithm that's being used within the software to speak to that, no.
That's all I have to.
Any question?
How do you know that the interpolation is accurate?
Just based off the fact that it's a bicubic algorithm is a common algorithm that is used, and it's a sound forensic tool within AMP5.
And how long did you work with this drone video and the different images from it?
It's been asked and answered.
It's sustained.
You know how many hours you worked on it?
I would say it was approximately approximately 20 hours.
Nothing further.
Question?
I don't.
You may step down, sir.
We have no further rebuttal witnesses.
Any other evidence?
Judge, I would move that the exhibits be accepted and published as previously requested.
Any objection?
The same objection that I noted.
All right. It'll be received and published. Did you have some for publication too, or was that done? That was completed?
Yes.
Okay. All right then. Folks, the evidence is closed, and I'm going to ask that you return to my. Yes, you do.
Oops. Okay, guys. Now we're going to go over to the Banfield trial. And we're almost done with this one. So I guess I'm going to put up a poll for the next one. And right now we're going to go over to Banfield, who I think might be done today, but we're going to keep on keeping on. See you over there.